Oke, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Praise
Waalaikumsalam
to God,
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
praise to God, let us always offer up a sense of worship and praise to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who gave His mercy and grace to us, so that we can all get together in healthy state without lacking in nothing. Blessing and greetings always we devote to the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay, before even we start, let us open with reading Basmalah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Today, our group will present material about reading. Well, the names of our group members who will present. The first is Mutahara Basri. The second is Elsa Aksari. The third is Triwana. Four is me, Hardianti. And the last is Andi Dian Anugrajema. From the first speaker, thanks you.
Oke, thank you, Kak. Kelihatan Ji PPT ku, Kak?
Belum.
Belum? Aduh. Kalau sekarang?
Belum.
Belum? Halo, kok?
Oke, kelihatan, Mi.
Kelihatan nih, oke. Ya, kuliah, Kak. Oke. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thanks for the time that given to me. My name is Mutahara Basri, and now I will present about the nature of reading. Belum. Oh, kenapa ini? Kenapa ini PPT-nya nggak mau? Nggak mau dipindah, Kak. Aduh. Nggak kelihatan juga kursornya. Stop, Kak, dulu, Dik.
Iya.
Bisa kirim ke UG mungkin, Kak. Biar dia yang share screen juga sekalian.
Kelihatan, Mi, Kak? Kelihatan, Ji?
Iya.
Ya.
Jangan diperbesar deh. Nggak mau. Tapi nggak mau juga turun.
Kirim kan, Mak?
Iya. Aduh, teman-teman minta maaf, Di. Kenapa ini? Mungkin bisa stop record dulu supaya enggak kelamaan. Nanti bilang, Prof, kenapa ini bermasalah sekali? Mana mi laptopnya berat sekali jadi lalu. Nunggu di UG, sementara saya kirim KP dulu.
Oke, baik. Next speaker saja dulu, Di, biar tidak mengulur waktu.
Bisa.
Oke.
Elsami dulu.
The second speaker, thanks you.
Oke, UG bisa di-share sih. Oke. Halo, kedengaran di suaraku?
Iya, Kak.
Iya, kedengaran.
Okay, ada nih. Okay, thank you very much for the chance. So here I would like to explain about the topic reading for research. Reading for research here for next slide, please. Okay, reading for research. As long as reading is an important part of studying and an essential part of the research process, sometimes in reading, we're feeling overwhelmed by our reading list. So here we gotta try some approach and learn which strategies and techniques are needed. So and here also we gotta try to discover the way that works best for we make reading for more effective and enjoyable. Next slide, please. Okay, so there are some steps to essential reading for research that we have to take it as efficiently as possible, as efficiently as possible. Uh, we don't have to read all of them for the beginning until the end. Just start by following this step. For the first one is time. For time, we decide how much time we have. And then for the second one is scan. Before reading information, we scan it. And zoom in useful information. So the third one is ask ourselves question and be critical about what we read, and then take notes. Think and link the purpose of our of your reading. Okay, the next slide. Okay, for the first one is decide how much time you have. Decide how much time you have here. Depending on the time period of the project we are working on, decide how much time is available for reading, understanding, and analyzing the literature. Don't underestimate the time we need and be realistic about how much we can read in the time available. And the second one is, next slide, please. Okay, before reading information, scan it. There are some sources here for a book, a journal, and a web page. For the book, scan the cover, detail, table of contents, quickly browse, and then quickly browse for illustration. For the book, on the cover and flap, information and reviews on a back flap give us an indication about the appreciation of the book. Uh, the main topic of the book should be about our research topic, and determine if the review of the back flap contributes to the understanding of the topic. And then we have to check it if it's recommended by others. And from the title of that book, we get a first broad sense of the subject and the relevance. On this title, we scan the title for relevant keywords that we have determined in advance. This can help to prioritize the titles on our reading list. Table of contents. This contains overview of the topics of the book. The structure of the book helps understanding and selecting what to read. On the table of contents, a book will give us a complete overview of the subject. By scanning the table of contents, we'll get an idea of the contents and make a selection of relevant chapters for our subject. And then for a journal article, look at the title, abstract, and paragraph headings. Just as I explained before about the title, we have to scan the title for relevant keywords that we have determined in advance. And for the author and affiliation, why we have to see the author and author affiliation, because recognize the author based on the reputation and the authority of that book. To determine the authority of a certain field, try to answer the question to ourselves, like, do I know the author, or is she or he an authority or recognized author in a field, on that field. If we don't know the author, we may ask some question like, did we find several articles about the same topic written by this author? Or in this case, she or he probably is an expert of this topic. So that's what we get from the topic of what an author. Look at the title and an author. And then for the abstract, for the journal, we have to see the abstract here, and then the table of contents. Table of contents. Okay, there is a table of content. Summary. Summary and abstract. Summary and abstract. We have to look the relationship and relevance to our own research. An abstract contains the essence of the research described. Every part of the publication is reflected. Check the conclusion also to the context of the way the topic is treated must be more or less similar to the context of our research topic. And then for the web page, we scan the title also, and author's introduction and external links. This is for introduction. The introduction the introduction shows what to expect from that book, from that web page. An introduction is intended to convey the writer's idea and the background of this research to the reader. And then does the information match with our expectation of our research? And then for the external links, check for new insight or similarities with our selection, which insight or the website base, and do the links on that website still work, and what kind of sources do they lead to. And on this external links, we have to recognize the sources of that web page. Next slide, please. Okay, for the third one is zoom in on the useful information. On this part, we will read in more detail. If the text is complicated and contains a lot of information, we may need to read it more than once to fully understand it. Next slide, please. And then ask yourself questions. From this part, we have to be critical about what we read and ask ourselves questions such as you can see on the slide, how does the author know this, and does he gives any scientific evidence, and how does this compare to other things I have read or known? Do I understand the methodology, reasoning, and evidence? Do I agree with the authors? And those questions can be lead us to be more essential in reading. Next slide, please. Okay. Take notes. As we know, we have to think about the purpose of our reading. Take notes about how we can use the information in our paper. When taking notes, we link them to the document or reference of the source to make sure we can find it back later. Also, use our own words in order to avoid some potential plagiarism from the sources. Take a notes. It includes about what does the author say and where, so we can find it again. Do I agree with the authors, and which other publications does this author agree or disagree with? And from this taking notes, we making like a mind map that can be useful or for taking notes while we read or summarize and understand what we have read. For the next slide, please. Okay, from this taken notes, we have mind map, a step of mind map selected literature for your research. For the step one here, we have read the article closely underline the important sentences and put circles around keywords. And step two, determine the structure of the articles, like are there chapters and paragraphs. When an article is well structured, we can use the structure of, for setting up the branches of the mind map. And then step three, we have to on this part we take like a sheet of paper and start with putting the topic of our research in the center of the sheet. And then for step one, branching like start by drawing the main branches and branch them further. For the main branches, use the chapter topics of the articles or journals that we find. And then for the secondary branches, use the paragraphs or like the subtopic from the topics. And then develop the secondary branches further by adding even smaller branches that can lead to contain details and examples. And then for the step 5, branch with get a complete picture of the essence of your topic, essence of your research topic. Here, step 5, this way is associate the branch with a color or remember the information more easily. And then for get a complete picture of essence of a research topic is about ask ourselves like a few questions that does the mind map give us. Mind map gives us a complete overview that from that reading. And do the keywords make sense, like make some change if necessary. From the step 7, find out we made a clear mind map. If we want to find out we made a clear mind map, look at it at later time and see how much of the articles we can recall. If we don't remember that much, maybe we don't use right keywords or some connection are missing. So try to find out what we went wrong, so we won't make like the same mistake again in next time. Next slide, please. Okay, in learning how to read for research requires a lot of practice. So there are some advanced reading strategies and techniques that we can use as a checklist during our reading process. And the first one is reading the whole thing. Reading the whole thing means that grasping the structure of the whole is important than reading every word. So in reading to learn, our goal should always to be get all the way through the assignment. It's much more important to have a general grasp of the arguments or hypothesis, evidence, and conclusion than to understand every detail. In fact, no matter how carefully we read, we won't remember most of details anyway. So what we can do is remember and record the main points. And if we remember those keywords, we know enough. We recognize enough to find the material again if we ever do need to recall the details. And then decide how much time we will spend. Decide how much time we will spend on reading. If we know in advance what we have only 6 hours or more hours to read, it will be easier to pace ourselves. Like remember, we are going to read the whole book. In fact, more directly and realistically we conquer our limits. The more effective we will be at practically everything. Setting time limits and keeping to them is one of the most important life skills we can learn. So never start to read without planning when to stop. And for the third one is have a purpose and strategy. Before we begin, figure out why we are reading this particular book or articles or on a web page, journal, and etc. And how we are going to read it. If we don't have reason and strategies for our of our own research, not just those of we won't learn as much. So we have to have purpose and strategy. And then for the next one is the next slide. Okay, read actively. Read actively here. Don't wait for the author to beat us over the head. Instead of from the very beginning, constantly generate hypotheses like the main point of that book or journal articles that we read, and questions like how does the author know that, and about the book or the resources, and making brief notes about this can help us to read, try, and then try to confirm our hypothesis and answer the question that we make in advance. And then read it 3 times. Read it 3 times here. This is like the key technique will get most of the book or journal that we read in 3 times, each time for a different purpose. For the first reading is like an overview or discovery. Here we read very quickly, following the principle of reading for high information content, and this our goal is to discover the sources like that book or journal. And then for the second reading, detail. This is we read for detail, like to understanding. Within our time constraints, read a book for a second time. This time our goal is hello.
Ya,
Elsa.
Lanjut, Mi.
Oh, did
Iya.
Okay. This time our goal is understanding. So for the second time, we have to be careful and like critical to grasp of the key points of what we read, and to evaluate the author's evidence for his or her points of that book. Focus on especially on the beginnings and the ends of the chapters of major section. We pay attention to the passage we mark on the first round and try to answer any question we generate on the first round. And for the third reading, we make notes here, recall and taking. The purpose of the third or final reading is to commit the memory the most important elements of the resources. This time, make a brief notes, make a brief notes about the arguments, evidence, and conclusions. This is not all the same things as the markup, but our goal is to process the material by translating into our own mental framework, which means using our own word as much as possible. And then focus on parts with high information content, like on a book we typically present repeat at several levels of organization, like the book or article. It's contain the whole abstract, introduction and conclusion. We focus on each chapter, each section within chapter, each paragraph, and more specific information. Like for the supporting evidence, we looking for, like, focus on the following elements, like the front and back covers of that books, and then table of contents, index, and preface, conclusion. So we have, they can provide more focus on the parts, the high information that we want to looking for. And then use a PTML, personal text markup language. As a rule, on a personal text markup language, we should average no more than 2 or 3 short marks per page, rather than underline whole sentences, underline words, or short phrases that capture what we most need to remember. And the point of this is to distill and reduce the unnecessary part, and write the words and phrases in margins that tell us what paragraphs or section are about. The for sure, from doing this, we have to use our own words. And then for the next one, please, next slide. Okay. Now know the authors and organization. Knowing who wrote a book or articles helps us to judge its quality and understand its full significance. Others are people like anyone else that have shaped their education, their jobs, their early lives, and praise for the experience. So on this part, we have to know the authors and organization. To be better, we will able to evaluate what we read, and then to answer the question like what shaped the author's intellectual perspective, what is her or his profession, and is the author an academic or professional, and what is the author's expertise, and something like that that related to our research. And then now the intellectual context, not the intellectual context, knowing the author and his her organization also helps us to understand the book's intellectual context. This includes the academic disciplines from which it draws, like schools of thought within that discipline, and others who agree with or propose the other's viewpoint. And then use our unconscious mind. And a lot of thinking and mental processing on when we are not aware of it, just with writing or any other creative thought process, full understanding of a book or journal articles and something like that takes time to be developed. Our ability to comprehend and retain what we read drops off dramatically after an hour or so. And then, therefore, we should read the sources in several short sessions of 1 to 2 hour apiece, and then rather than one long marathon. So we have to take like some hours, and in between, our unconscious mind will process some of what we read, and when we come back to the next section, start by asking ourselves what we remember from our previous reading and what we think of it so far, and what we still need to learn about it. And then for next one, for the last one is rehearse and use multiple modes. After we have read the book or articles, rehearse what we have learned, like quizzes ourselves on its content, argue with the author, imagine how we would defend the other's position in our own writing. For this reason, the best forms of rehearsals use multiple modes of thinking and action. So don't just don't just privately contemplate uh, the article or resources. Instead, we talk about the book with others. We bring it up in a class, write about it, and visualize anything that can be visualized about its contents. All of this helps us to fix our memory and integrate our new learning into the rest of our knowledge. So those are from some strategies for essential reading for research. So I think that's all from my explanation. Thank you very much. Yep. We'll give it back to the moderator. Okay.
Okay.
Elsa, enough?
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. And how about Mutahara? Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm sure.
Okay, please.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
Tunggu. Tunggu ya. Kelihatan, Mi?
Iya, kelihatan, Ji. Okay. Thanks for the time that giving to me. Okay. Now, me, Mutahara Basri, we will discuss about the nature of reading. In this time, we can talk a 3 point. The first is what is reading. The second is reading comprehension, but just talk about the 5 level of reading comprehension. And the last is about a critical reading. In this critical reading, we just talk about the 3 steps that we can do to help us in critical reading. And for the first is we have to know what is reading. As you can see on the slide, there are 3 experts that I put in my slide in my PPT. For example, Smith in Ginting in 2005 said that reading is a process of building an understanding of written text. And the second from Tarigan said that reading is a process that is carried and used by readers who want to get the message delivered by the author through medium of word or written language. So we can say that Reading is a process in which you view letters and words print on a text and try to make the meaning out of them. So when we read, we use our eyes to receive written symbols, and we use our brain to convert them into words, a sentence and paragraph that communicate something to us. And just like listening, writing, speaking, reading is also a communication skill. And we have to garis bawahi, we have to know that reading can be silent or loud. And next slide, please. Okay. The second is about reading comprehension. Reading comprehension is the ability to process text, understand its meaning, and to integrate with what the reader already knows. And seperti yang saya katakan di awal, di reading comprehension kita akan bicara tentang 5 levels of reading comprehension. Can be taught to the children. The first is lexical comprehension, the second is literal comprehension, interpretive comprehension, applied comprehension, and effective comprehension. In the lexical comprehension, the characteristic of lexic in this level is it deals with the understanding of the words in a text, and the second is the reader must be equipped with the knowledge of unlocking the meaning of the terms in a text. And next is the characteristic of the literal comprehension is identify the main ideas of the paragraph and recall the details to support the main idea. And next, the characteristic of interpretive comprehension is reading between the lines, and second, predict endings and anticipate consequences. And the last is understand the fact that the explicitly stated in the text. And for the fourth level, applied comprehension, the characteristic is first, reader's link between the text and his own experience and knowledge to develop an answer. The second is a reader asks open-ended question to promote deeper understanding. And the last is reader support the answer with a logical reason. And for the last level, affective comprehension, the characteristic is preview social scripts to ensure understanding of plot development, and the second is connect motive to plot and character development. Next slide. Untuk lebih memahami 5 tipe comprehension, 5 types comprehension, reading comprehension before, maybe that we can, mungkin di sini semua tahu cerita tentang Cinderella. Jadi saya ambil contoh cerita Cinderella untuk lebih memahami 5 level yang tadi. Jadi for lexical level, pertanyaan-pertanyaan yang biasanya muncul mewakili lexical level ini, as you can see on the slide, yang mempertanyakan satu kata, apa arti dari kata tersebut. And the second question for literal comprehension biasanya ditandai dengan pertanyaan seperti who was the girl who lost the glass slipper? Where did Cinderella go to live at the end of the story? And contoh pertanyaan untuk interpretive comprehension itu, how did the pumpkin turn into a carriage, and what would happen to Cinderella if she hasn't lost her slipper? And pertanyaan yang mewakili applied comprehension itu sendiri, do you think Cinderella was wrong for going to the party when her stepmother said she couldn't go? And for the last example question for the last type, affective comprehension, what do you do when you are disappointed because you cannot do anything fun? Is that how Cinderella reacted? And next slide. Okay. Now we move to critical reading. Critical reading is a more active way of reading. It is deeper and more complex engagement with the text. Critical reading is a process of analyzing, interpreting, and sometimes for evaluating. Ada 3 langkah that we can do to help us in critical reading. The first is before reading, during reading, and after reading. For before reading, or pre-reading prepare student for learning by activating their pure knowledge about the topic featured in the text. Maybe the student can scan the text, mungkin bisa lihat judulnya, the image kalau misal ada gambar, atau headings that can then make a prediction. Kira-kira teksnya sebentar akan membahas tentang apa. And the second is during reading. For the first is read the text. Jadi kita baca keseluruhan teksnya. And the second is read the text again. This time you are going to mark the text. Jadi pada saat membaca yang kedua itu kita menandai. There are 4 methods that you can use in this time. First is circle reading. The second is insert symbol. The third, write in the margin, and the last is highlight standouts. In circle keywords, astaga salah di PPT-nya. Circle keywords. Jadi saat membaca yang kedua ini kita kata-kata yang penting dalam teks atau mungkin kata-kata yang kurang dipahami bisa kita kasih tanda lingkaran atau seperti itulah. Mungkin ada yang biasa lakukan ini yang menandai dengan lingkaran-lingkaran kata-katanya yang tidak dimengerti atau mungkin kata-kata pentingnya. The second is insert symbol. Jadi simbolnya itu ada beberapa, ada biasa yang pakai tanda centang, tanda tambah, atau minus, atau tanda tanya. Kalau tanda-tanda ini terserah dari orangnya. Misalnya tanda centang itu untuk sesuatu yang di dalam tes yang kita setuju. Misalnya ada pendapat, kita setuju dengan pendapat itu, kita centang. Dan kalau misal tanda tanya untuk sesuatu yang membuat kita bingung, something like that. And the third, write in the margin. Mungkin semuanya juga tahu yang dimaksud di sini. Kalau saya biasanya itu dari teksnya saya tarik garis keluar ke marginnya, terus saya tulis catatan kecil. Atau ada biasa juga orang tidak pakai garis tapi langsung tulis saja, tapi selurus dengan kata yang mau dijelaskan ulang. Terus highlight stand out, ini paling familiar, kata-kata pentingnya atau kalimat pentingnya itu kita highlight. And after reading, after reading there are 3 steps. For the first is reflect on your ideas. Look back to consider how close was my prediction. Jadi kan di awal tadi kita prediksi teksnya tentang apa. Setelah kita reading, kita lihat sedekat apa, sebenar apa prediction tadi di awal. And then did my opinion change. Jadi after reading, apakah opini kita tentang sesuatu hal itu berubah karena teks tersebut atau tidak. And the second is reflect on your understanding of the text. Do I understand the information, or can I identify the author's main point? And the last is revisit your marked up text in order to complete the text. Misalnya ada di akhir setelah membaca itu ada tesnya, jadi kita bisa menyelesaikannya dengan mudah dengan pakai langkah yang kedua tadi. Kan ada yang kita tanda-tandai, bisa bisa langsung dapat jawabannya dengan hal-hal penting tadi yang kita tandai di langkah kedua. Okay, I think that's all from me. I give it back to the moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mutahara. And the next speaker, Sriwana, I'm sure.
Okay, thank you for the chance that given to me. Today, I will explain about the comparing IL1 and IL2 reading. Okay, there are three main topic for today. The first is linguistic and processing differences. The second is individual and experiential differences, and the last is social, cultural, and institution differences. The first is linguistic and processing differences. There are the subtopic for linguistic and processing differences. The first is different amount of lexical, grammatical, and discourse knowledge. As a first difference, most of IL1 students first learn to read after they have been learning their IL1 orally for 4 till 5 years. In the US, students typically begin to read at the age of 6 in the first grade. Others IL2 students primary in academic reading course are not even expected to increase their oral IL2 abilities to keep up with their reading development. One obvious implication of these differences is that having IL2 students sound out a word to discover its meaning is likely to be less effective than it is in IL1 setting. The lack of tacit IL2 grammatical knowledge and discourse knowledge also suggests the IL2 students need some foundation of structural knowledge that and text organization in the IL2 for more effective reading comprehension. The next is greater metalinguistic and metacognitive awareness in IL2 settings. In many IL2 contexts, a good part of students' knowledge of the IL2 result from direct instruction in the classroom, or it comes about indirectly through instructional tasks, project, and outside reading. In these cases, students develop a greater metalinguistic awareness as a resource for reading, with the recent emphasis and awareness and reflection for language learning in IL2 context. More IL2 students now discuss and reflect on the linguistic results that they use assist them in comprehension. Unlike the basic knowledge that is typical of IL1 learners, many older IL2 students are thus able to discuss and reflect on the linguistic resources available to them. A natural extension of linguistic awareness is a more developed metacognitive awareness of the learning that takes place while reading in the IL2. The next is varying linguistic differences across any two languages. Linguistic differences across to any languages are likely to vary considerably, and these differences may influence IL2 reading comprehension variably when students come from different IL1 and in the same IL2 classroom. For example, student whose IL1 is a Romance language tend to pay greater attention to the end of word because there is much more grammatical information in the suffixes of their IL1 than in English. As another example, word in language as Hebrew and Arabic, which have a greater morphological complexity with embedded grammatical information, are read more slowly than words in a language such as English. Some languages are seen as completely transparent. Um, Consonant alphabetic language are yet more opaque, and some are very opaque. The next is offering link IL2 proficiencies as a foundation for IL2 reading. IL2 proficiency plays a large role as a foundation for IL2 reading. The language three holes hypothesis argue that students must have a sufficient amount of language knowledge to make effective use of skill and strategies that are part of their IL1 reading comprehension abilities. A number of studies have demonstrated the greater importance of IL2 linguistic knowledge for students in varying contexts. Critics of this hypothesis have argued that there is no single set of linguistic knowledge that can be defined as presenting a necessary foundation. Rather, a variable amount of linguistic knowledge combined with fluency of processing is needed to read specific tests on a specific topic for a specific test. Students can be said to pass above the thresholds when they have enough linguistic knowledge to read the text with great vocabulary and grammatical difficulty. The next is varying language transfers influences. A natural interaction of language thresholds hypothesis is the large issue of transfer, a unique of IL2 topic. The instructional goal at lower level is for students to develop enough vocabulary, reading practice, and processing influence in IL2 so they rely less on IL1 resources that might interface. For example, the positive transfer effect include a reading and include effective strategies for reading academic text, appropriate purpose of reading, experience with successful test completion, flexibility in monitoring comprehension, and skill for analyzing and learning new words. The next is interacting influence of working with two languages. Closely related to transfer discussion is a very fact of the two languages are involved in IL2 comprehension process. This interplay is seldom discussed, perhaps because uh, there is little search that focus especially on this point. Instructional implication drawn from this perspective suggest greater use of the IL1 in an IL2 classroom when students work together on more complex comprehension tasks. Next, individual and experimental differences between IL1 and IL2 readers. The first is differing levels of IL1 reading abilities. Students who have limited IL1 literacy abilities can not be expected to transfer many supporting resources to their developing IL2 reading. All too often, teachers and researchers do not examine the IL1 reading skill of their students. Without such knowledge, and we are more limited in deciding what skill and strategies to focus on the promote to transfer. Next, differing motivation for reading in the IL2. When comparing IL1 and IL2 reading context, it is likely that we will find different individual motivation for reading, as well as a different sense of self-esteem, interest, involvement with reading, and emotional response to reading. This information may help us to understand students' strengths and weakness beyond any language assessment measure and may lead to more effective instruction. Aside from specific motivation for reading and task performance, students bring with them varying underlying attitudes toward IL2 reading, which are often linked to perspective on past educational experience in both IL1 and IL2 context and socio-political differences between IL1 and IL2 societies. The next is differing amount of exposure to IL2 reading. A major difference for IL2 reading and one that strong influences the linguistics knowledge differences mentioned as a total amount of exposure to IL2 reading and to IL2 print that a student experience. They have enough exposure to build a large recognition vocabulary. This difference between IL1 and IL2 reading situation are significant because IL1 readers spend years building up the amount of exposure to print needed to develop fluency and automaticity. The next is different kind of text in IL2 context. The experiences that individual students have with different kind of text in IL1 and IL2 context are additional potential sources of reading comprehension differences. In many IL2 contexts, students read quite simple text, yet in other IL2 contexts, students read text far more difficult than they should be encountering in setting where IL2 students are asked to read difficult, often authentic reading experience first appear to similar to are like out.
Wah, keluar.
Lanjut mungkin Dian. Siapa next
Oh
presenter?
yeah. I'm sorry. Maybe for members is trouble networking. So the first speaker is me, Hardianti. Kentara aja tidak.
Kentara Ji.
Ya, Kentara.
Oh, yeah. Okay. This is I want to explain about the reading lesson stage, reading materials, and extensive reading action research project. Topic outline. F3. And then effective language instruction is depend on a number of good teaching practice that we all recognize. They include the appropriateness of lesson objective, careful sequencing of classroom activities, clarity of instruction, suitable of material and tasks, teacher flexible and responsive to students' needs, pacing and time allotments, attention to students' motivation, and teacher and students' preparedness. The first is reading lesson plan action research project. Have 3 stages for lesson plan. The first is pre-reading. Pre-reading activities are activities that help students thinking about what they know about a topic and predict what they will read out here. And the purpose of pre-reading activities are to establish a purpose for reading, improve vocabulary, so students can complete the reading task successfully, predict what they are going, establish what they know about a topic. Some example of pre-reading activities, like when students using about the text using from teacher about videos. There is so much good free content available this day. First, find a short video relating to the topic of the reading. I will suggest something around 3 minutes long. After watching the video yourself, prepare some simple discussion question. Play the video and then ask the students to talk with a partner about what they saw. The second is stage for teaching reading while reading. While reading, active are defined activities that help students to focus on aspects of the text and to understand it better. The goals of these activities to help learn to deal at the world with as if the text is writing in their first language. Some while reading activities example, the first is identify topic sentence and the main idea of paragraphs. Remember that every paragraph usually includes a topic sentence that identify the main idea of the paragraph. The second is distinguishing between general and specific ideas. If you want to know what I mean, have I look at this reading exercise. And the third is identify the connector to see how the link ideas within the text. For a full list of thinking words, have a look at this linking words group by category. The last is coding text, include teaching students a method of marking so they can place a question mark next to a statement they didn't understand or exclamation mark next to something that supports them. And the third is stage for lesson plan, post-reading. Post-reading active wipe help students understand text, thus critically analyzing what they have read. What are some post-reading examples? The first is creative discussion. Prepare for all 5 simple questions and ask students to talk about this question for 3 minutes. And after that, ask one member of each pair to go and talk to another person of the group. And the second is reading lesson plan action research project. Concept of intensive reading skill. The first is the effectiveness of pre-reading activities. Purpose of effectiveness pre-reading activities. Use of pre-reading activities are to take advantage of students' background knowledge and provide information. So the students tend not to have but understand text, construct and increase student expectations, stimulate students' interest in the topic. So introduction strategies for students to read. The main goal at each pre-reading post stage from start reading destination, tap previous knowledge, and then conclusion. And then during a reading assignment or while propose most textbook include before and after reading assignment, but only from explicit guide students in the reading stage, according to Hedgard and Ferris, 2009 and Hudson, 2007. It is not uncommon to see instruction, meaning the instruction is carried out immediate after a pre-reading assignment, which simply let students to read. In this action research project, we experiment with developing and implementing during reading. The aim of this project is to focus on the tasks during recording occurring around the main point on the stage. And the last is post-reading question created by the teacher. Propose, it should not surprise teacher that what they are reading, and teacher often feel the need to write question after they have read on their own. Teacher often ask simple yes or no question, and short respond to check students' understanding of the text. In developing reading and critical thinking skill, it is more important to be responsible for the response to what they read. Reading material action research project. Reading class often center around textbook, passage, and accompanying reading and post-reading active. Academic purpose and English for specific purpose. Teachers sometimes compensate of reading to accommodate students' interest and needs. Jadi, kelas membaca seringkali berpusat pada buku teks yang menyertai kegiatan sebelumnya, selama dan sesudah membaca. The most furnished reading teacher have classroom or school libraries to draw from for additional reading materials. In other setting, newspaper, magazine, subscription are used as classroom reading materials. In only rare circumstances, a reading teacher respond for all reading materials for their class. Textbook reading materials meet all our classroom needs. Teachers know that they will need to adapt and supplement textbook materials to meet their students' needs and in many cases, curricular goals. Instruction materials, whether commercial, institutional, or created by the teacher, often represent the focal point of teacher-initiated action research. Reading material action research for the focal point of teacher initiated. The first is a level of challenge in textbook comprehension activities. Proposed post-reading comprehensive activities are usually used for checking understanding the reader's text. According to Nation 2009, usually see in textbook is an explanation of understanding of various types, including we have question, yes or no, and true or false question, multiple choice, assignment, and sentence completion, and information transfer activities. The emphasis of such activities shift from literal understanding, often the less challenge to draw conclusion, use text for other purpose, and evaluate text critical. The second is exposure to nonlinear text in mandate reading variable. Proposed skilled reading are able to process linear text as well as nonlinear text, the latter including traditional form like checks, diagram, literal comprehension, drawing, inference, using the text for other. In other words, the purpose responding critical is for the understanding what they take as explicit reading between the lines using text information that is explicit state. So the key difference between linear and the non-linear text, it is reading path. In a linear text, a reader can make sense of the text by reading sequence from beginning to the end. And the last is post-reading exercise goal. Purpose, the BC teacher often arranges post-reading activities around exercise included in the class textbook without really considering test objective. There are several action research projects seen teacher including divided to. The first is identify the object of the post-reading exercise in the course textbook, and the second is find post-reading emphasis that may have been overlooked due to textbook limitation. Follow-up project can involve survey other second language reading textbook to find alternative and additional ways structure course reading active. Extensive reading action research project. The development of the reading skill is very dependent on students' experience in the reading text is extend for a long period of time. Research has shown that students who read independent and read a large amount can develop stronger reading comprehension skill. And the second is develop a more positive attitude toward reading. And the last is regards of the important extensive reading. Strategy to enhance reading speech. The first is inventory of available extensive reading. According to Day and Bamford, 1998, Grep 2009. And then the second is top 10 principle of extensive reading. Extensive reading varied in the literature include quantity of reading. The second is the reading for general meaning. Third, reading for pleasure. And the student's selection of reading. The primary goals of this action research project is to determine the extent to reading program habits by the 10 principle. This is about the 10 principle. You can see about my slide. The first is students read as much as possible. Perhaps is an endeavor of the classroom. The second is a variety of materials. Wide range of topic is available. The third is students select what they want to read. Have the freedom to stop reading material that fails to interest them. Four is the purposes of reading. Generally relate to pleasure, information, and general understanding. The five is reading is in our reward. There are few or no follow-up exercise after reading. The six is reading material with the linguistic competence of the students in terms of vocabulary and grammar. The second is reading is individual and silent at the student's own pace and outside class, done when and where the students choose. The eighth is reading speed. It's usually faster than slow. A student reading book and material find easily understandable. And the ninth is teacher orient students to goals of the program. Explain the methodology and most out of the program. The last is the teacher is a role model of a reader for students. This is about the students active member on the classroom reading, communication, demonstrating, and then rewards of being readers. Okay, I think it's enough for me. And the next speaker, Andi Dian Anugrah Jema I'm sure.
Okay, thank you. Kelihatan nih screen kok.
Kelihatan.
Oke, thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will continue the material about reading technique. In order to read effectively, you need to use different reading techniques for different purpose and text. You should always read for a clearly defined purpose. There are 4 reading techniques that I will present today. First one is skimming. Skimming will help you grasp the general ideas or gist of a text. You might quickly read the table of contents, the headings, or the abstract. You could also read the first and the last paragraphs and the first and the last sentence of each paragraph in a relevant section. The next one is scanning. Scanning allow you to locate precise information. You might identify a key terms or expression which you will alert you to where your subject is being addressed. You could then run your eyes over a text looking for this. The third one is detailed reading. Detailed reading allows you to critically consider aspects of a text. This might involve close reading of the entire text or of important sections of the text. And the last one is revision reading. This involves reading rapidly through material with which you are already familiar in order to confirm knowledge and understanding. The next one is stage in a reading text. It is important to break down the reading process into following stage. Before reading, get an overview of the text. Skim the table of contents, heading and subheadings. Read the introduction and conclusion. And the last one is scan the relevant section to locate where your topic is discussed. The next one is during reading. During reading, closely follow the development of the ideas in the text. The first one is read effectively, write the margins, highlight phrase, take notes of important points. Next, don't forget to examine diagrams and figures as they are information dense. Read critically, ask yourself question. For example, is the argument logical? Is it biased? Is there enough evidence to support the author's conclusions? And the last one is after reading. After reading, think over what you have read. Make a brief summary of the main ideas and concept in the text. Okay, that's for me. Thank you very much. I give back to moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the last speaker. Bagaimana teman-teman? Kita cukupkan saja karena waktu azan sudah menghampiri.
Ya, betul boleh.
Okay. Enough for our presentation today. If no follow our presentation, we apologize for the size. Let us close with